From Normal West High School, it's almost time for a state-ranked matchup in the Big 12 tonight on Clutch Sports Media as the Normal West Wildcats host the Peoria Lions. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into a rainy, cold, and windy Normal, Illinois. Alongside John Camosa, it's Larry Larson in with you. Glad you're with us. And John, it doesn't get much better than this. Week 8. Two conference rivals going at it. Peoria undefeated. Normal West still in contention for a conference title as well.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks away from the postseason, but this game right here feels like a postseason game. I mean, this is going to be an electric matchup. Two Big 12 teams, state ranked, like you said, Larry, going at it. It's going to be a fun test tonight.
Looking into both these teams, starting with Peoria, the visitors, their offense has been monstrous. Coming off an outing last week in which they put up over 700 yards of offense, but it all starts with their senior running back, Malachi Washington.
Yeah, he's been nothing short of phenomenal all season long. They're averaging 54 points, but not only with their offense being so dynamic, their defenses really came around this year as well and been able to hold some teams to lower scoring games. I think we're in for an exciting matchup against a versatile Normal West team.
And as for Normal West, you mentioned that versatility. It starts with their defense. They've allowed under 8 points per game this season, but their offense also very versatile. A spread offense led by the senior quarterback, Jaden Mangrum.
Yeah, Jaden Mangrum, one of his favorite targets, Matthew Masalia. He can throw it to him. He can get out in the slant routes. And like you said, Larry, their defense, only 18 points allowed in conference play and also 4 shutouts this year. So it's a very tough defense that Peoria High is going to face tonight.
100%. Definitely a challenge that they haven't faced before. Digging into a little bit more of what this means in the Big 12 standings, you see at the top there, Champaign Centennial. They're going to have the leg up with just one conference game left. They're 7-0 in the Big 12, but both these teams need to win out if they want to share a piece of the title.
Yeah, Centennial's sitting in a really good spot right now, obviously with that 2-game advantage, but Peoria High, chance to win out these next 2 games. Same for Normal West, so this has big implications, both teams going forward, getting that momentum.
One of the biggest regular season games of the season this year. We've got it for you here coming up next on Clutch Sports Media. The bleachers are shaking at Normal West as the home crowd gets introduced to the home team. The Wildcats getting ready to run through the tear-through there. And Joko, despite the rain, despite the wind, despite the elements, the fans have come out tonight.
Yeah, they're going to be fired up, Larry. I mean, this is a game that, obviously, if you look at the beginning of the season, this was going to be a fun matchup. And obviously, the weather is going to play a big factor as well for two high-powered offenses.
Yeah, it definitely is, Joko, and that's really where we want to go first. We mentioned the weather at the top of the show, but temperatures are going to dip to about, the 30s or so. But I think the biggest factor is going to be the wind more than anything, even more than the rain.
Yeah, we've seen teams throughout the season play in the rain, but when you add wind in there, I mean, we're getting very strong wind gusts coming in, especially backed up right to the interstate. You're feeling every bit of that wind tonight. We're looking at a Peoria High team that averages 54 points a game. You could see them keep it on the ground a lot more tonight, especially with how much it's raining.
And not only will that rain be a challenge for the teams on the field, but also the officials. The officials tonight, Dave Severind, Josh Lewis, Tim Ravello, Dave Estelle, and Vince Cunningham bearing the elements there at midfield as Normal West gets introduced. And that's the sound you're hearing right now. Their seniors also getting introduced tonight, and now the whole entire team takes the field. But, John, back to the weather, back to the wind and rain. These are two teams that throw the ball more than your average high school football teams. So I really think that wind is probably going to knock down some of that offense.
Yeah, and I think for Peoria High, if they do have to limit themselves through the air, they're no stranger to the running game. You look at Malachi Washington, who's just been so dominant on the ground for the Lions this year, as well as Normal West. They like to run the ball as well. So we could see more of a ground and pound game, especially with the wind starting to pick up and the rain gradually picking up as we approach kickoff.
Normal West will receive the opening kickoff, but if you've watched Peoria High before, you know that's not a sure bet that Normal West will receive the ball, because every single kick, Peoria tries an onside kick. More on that later, but they've recovered 11 onside kicks this year. They will certainly try one here as they get lined up just one man deep for Normal West. Ball teed up at the 40, and we are ready for Friday night football. A state-ranked matchup in the Big 12 is underway as Normal West recovers that opening onside kick, and they will start with a short field, Joko.
Yeah, they will, Larry. And, going back to that point about the onside kicks, 11 recoveries, like you said, this season, I don't think they're too fazed by putting a team to start the game at midfield because their defense has been really solid this year. The most points they allowed was 30 against Normal Community. Other than that, it's been about 16 points per game for their conference foes. So Peoria High's definitely stepped up on the defensive end.
Jaden Mangrum and the Normal West offense takes the field. Mangrum out of the gun in the spread offense. Man in motion, and Mangrum keeps it on the ground. He picks up about 1 or 2 on first down. But, John, a little bit more on Jaden Mangrum here, as you'll see on your screen. He can throw it a lot. He can air it out. But a lot of the time tonight we'll see attempts like that where he keeps it on the ground himself.
Yeah, he's a very versatile quarterback, the 5'10", 170-pound senior. Like you said, Larry, he can really air it out. But on a night like tonight where we're seeing those strong wind gusts and rain, look for him to keep the ball sometimes.
Mangrum fumbles the snap and can't do anything but fall on it as Rontavis Lee was bearing down on him to make a play on the ball. And now it's going to be 3rd and long, Joko, and this is really where we see the wind and rain come into play.
Yeah, and it's going to put teams in a situation where they would typically pass, maybe leave them to the run on long third down situations. With this rain and wind continue to pick up, it's going to be interesting. Also, Larry, protecting that football tonight, we just saw that. It's going to be a big factor.
3rd and 16 from West's own 44. Mangrum trying the hard count. Peoria doesn't budge. Play clock down to 0. Flag flies, and that'll be a delay of game. So it's going to be 3rd and 21 now, John.
Yeah, you put them in a very tough spot here. Credit to Peoria High's defense. But this is a very tough situation for Normal West. What you do here, if you elect to air it out with that wind blowing, it gives Peoria High a chance for maybe an interception. We'll see if they keep it on the ground.
It's going to be hard to manage a down and distance like this with the wind blowing the way it is. Mangrum, play action, pocket collapsing. He'll keep it himself and get just past the line of scrimmage, but not much further. It's a 3 and out for the Peoria defense.
And that's one thing you're going to look for tonight. Peoria High's, not only their offensive line size-wise, but defensive line so big up front, and right there they put a halt to Mangrum.
It'll be Owen Sen, the senior kicker, out to punt. And the returner for Peoria, 1 man deep. He lets it roll, and it's down to inside the 25-yard line. The man deep was Kenny Rutherford. Didn't get a chance at that one. And probably wise, Joko, with the wind and the rain blowing the way it is.
Yeah, and Peoria High is going to have pretty good field position here. We know that they are no stranger to breaking off big runs between Malachi Washington, also the quarterback Tino Geist. He can get out and run, but Larry, look for Normal West defense. They got to be strong tonight against this Peoria High Lions team.
Tino Gist leads his squad onto the field. Not the easiest to pronounce. You hear that one spun a lot of different ways. Gist in the backfield with who else but Malachi Washington behind him. And a whistle before the play even gets moving. John, I didn't see a flag. Unsure what's going on right now.
No flag on the play, but
we're just going to try 1st and 10 all over again. I think the officials had to wipe the ball off.
Yeah, it's no surprise with this rain just continue to pick up a few minutes into this game.
Guest, the give to Washington. There he goes on the first play from scrimmage. Doing what he's done all season, Malachi Washington with a big pickup.
And Larry, I think that's one thing for Malachi Washington. Whether it's clear day or it's torrential downpour, he can still get out and run that ball. So talented in the backfield.
Washington coming off a performance last week in which he ran for 313 yards. His second carry goes for about a yard. 2nd and 9 or 8 coming up. But Washington, John, it seems every week you read the Peoria Journal-Star, whatever your news source is for high school sports, and Washington's numbers get better and better every week. Here's another big run. He's brought down from behind by Jacob Davis after he moves the sticks again.
And back to your point, Larry, what Washington's done this season is incredible. Just hasn't had a game that he's slowed down, only continues to get better, and just with a really hot start tonight, continue to pick up some chunk yardage.
1st and 10 from the Normal West 38. There goes Washington again. Got a few blocks, got another 1st down.
And I know it's a tall task, but that's where Normal West front line there on defense is going to have to be so strong to really prevent that run from Washington, because once he gets in that secondary, he can break loose.
There he goes again, and once again stuffed at the line of scrimmage. There's Jacob Davis, the senior safety, to bring him down after a gain of 1. But, John, you look at the lineage of Peoria High running backs. It was Geno Hess a few years ago on the state championship team. And then last year, it was Eddie Clark that Washington played behind. Didn't get a lot of opportunities, but now it's Washington's time to shine, and he's definitely taken advantage. That time, Frank Odom gets the carry, makes it 3rd and short.
Yeah, what Coach Tim Thornton's done with Peoria High, just the next man up mentality. These running backs through the ranks have just continued to get better and better, and Malachi Washington really making a statement here this season for Peoria High.
Guest with the hard count. There's Odom again, stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Normal West defensive line bears down. And Dylan Hardwick, the 6'4", 215-pound senior, was there to stop it. But one of the trademarks of this Peoria team, Joko, no kicking field goals, not even extra points. They're going for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, it's a rarity. If you see that, you're not going to see it.
Malachi Washington gets the give. It's going to be close. Did he get there? Looks like he just got it. And, John, I'm not sure if there's anybody else more trustworthy to get the 1st down in the area on, say, 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 than Malachi Washington.
Yeah, whether it's a 4th down play on a goal line stand or at midfield, that's the guy you're giving the ball to. He can get you those yards right there, just picks it up.
Washington bounces to the outside, bowls through a man after a gain of 7 on 1st down.
And Larry, we talk so much about Malachi Washington and what he's done in the backfield, but that's credit to his offensive line. Very big up front, able to open those holes for him.
Washington again plunges into that offensive line. Gain of a few, 3rd and short coming up. John, you bring up the offensive line. I talked to head coach Tim Thornton about that offensive line, and I said, what's made Malachi Washington so good this year? He said, well, it starts with that offensive line. They've grown up really fast, and they do what they need to do to make Malachi look good. He doesn't get any blocks there. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage, maybe even a loss.
And one player to highlight on that offensive line, which Cody Roskins and I talked about week 1. Jaquarius Green, freshman, stands at 6'3", 389, just a force up front on that line for the Lions.
4th and 2. Guests with the hard count. Nobody budging for West. The give to Washington. Gets through an ankle tackle. Keeps on plowing towards the goal line. In for 6. Malachi Washington with his 26th touchdown of the year. And Peoria strikes first.
No surprise there. Malachi Washington finds the end zone again for Peoria High. Just continuing to light it up this season. And that is a great drive downfield from Peoria High, even in this weather that we have tonight.
2-point conversion coming up. As we mentioned earlier, no extra points for this Lions squad. They keep it on the ground again. Washington plunges towards the goal line. It's close, and he came up short. So the score holds at 6-0 in favor of Peoria. We want to take this opportunity to remind you of all our great sponsors, starting with Jody Brown State Farm. Jody Brown State Farm, the presenting agent here this week. For all your insurance needs, give Jody a call in Peoria, 309-693-1103, or visit her online at jodybrownagency.com. And we want to give a big shout out to all our State Farm partners this year, helping us bring you all the action all season long. Jody Brown, Zach Butler, and Jake Weston. Glad you're with us on your Friday night. Malachi Washington starting the scoring with a touchdown run for the Peoria Lions. State ranked in Class 5A. Undefeated, 7-0 going into Week 8. Little misdirection on the onside kick. It bounces around and Peoria falls on it.
And that's where they're so dangerous. Right after the touchdown, able to get it right back. And I think with this weather we're having tonight, Larry, that also helps. You could get those little bounces there, misdirection with the wind, especially with the rain. Hard to hold on that ball. If you're Normal West and you're going to be expecting those onside kicks all night, you got to make sure you're diving on that football.
Taking a look at the upstream scoring drive for Peoria, 11 plays, 76 yards, 4 minutes and 19 seconds. A longer drive than we're accustomed to for this Peoria offense, Joko, mainly because they can't throw the ball right now with this weather.
And even if you take that out of play, I don't think Peoria High's got any problem with continuing to get that ball to Malachi Washington. As you can see, just keeping it on the ground. Had a great drive downfield to get in for that first touchdown.
Gist is going to look to throw. He airs it out deep, looking for TQ Webb, and he brings down the jump ball. A little wind and rain, no problem for Tino Gist.
Just a great catch there, able to come back to it. You could see that's a throw that typically will be right in stride, but with that wind, it's going to blow it back. But a really nice read there. The first time the Lions go through the air, it pays off.
And Normal West takes a much-needed timeout as their defense is struggling against this Peoria air attack.
And Larry, it's something that so many teams this season have had trouble doing. It's putting a stop to Peoria High.
And Peoria High is a challenge unlike any other, John. As you can see here, their brand of football is incredibly unique. FHF is their theme. Fast, hard, finish. Fast, we've seen, no huddle. Hard, hit hard, and finish games. They've done that pretty well this year. Onside kicks, they don't kick it deep. 11 recoveries this season entering tonight. Now 12. They always go for 2. It's a no-huddle offense. And then you see at the bottom what it's resulted in, 54 points a game.
Yeah, it's incredible, and that's the brand of football that Peoria High's lived by, and it's worked for Coach Thornton all these seasons. It's working again this year as the Lions are unbeaten, looking for another big win tonight if they can get by Normal West. You know Normal West wants to come out here and try to secure this home win.
West head coach Nathan Fincham had such a good quote. He said, there's fast, and then there's Peoria fast. 1st and 10 from the Normal West 25 out of the timeout. Gist to Malachi Washington. Tripped up after a few.
And that's the impressive thing with Peoria High, Larry. It's almost like if you blink, you'll miss something. Peoria High right back in the spot they were just at, able to cap off that scoring drive. And they got a good chance to try to get in that end zone again. This is a big-time defensive stand for Normal West.
2nd and 8. It's Washington again. Gets through a tackle before he's ripped down by Jacob Davis, the 3-year starter for the Wildcats. Coach Fincham said Jacob Davis, as well as Tanner Couples, 2 seniors, 2 captains playing safety this season for the Wildcats. He said they're not your typical safeties. They're really versatile and could even play a linebacker type position. But they're back deep. Washington gets the carry again, and he's hit after a gain of maybe 1 or 2. And it'll be 3rd and long.
And Larry, 2 players like that you just mentioned, it's so versatile to have in your defense, just multi-dimensional players. Like you said, they could play back in the secondary and then also play up front. But right now, just haven't had an answer for Peoria High as they are showing that speed.
2nd and long, rather. 2nd and 8 coming up. Sean Franklin, the man in motion. But it's to Washington. Runs towards the right tackle. And the defensive line cracks him again. Something to watch. TQ Webb hobbling to the sideline. The star sophomore receiver coming up lame after that run.
Yeah, looked like he got his foot caught under that tackle that landed on. Hope he's okay, able to come back. That is a big playmaker for the Lions.
3rd and 6 from the Normal West 11-yard line. Clock ticking on down. Gist gives to Washington, and he's wrapped up in the backfield by Laurel Fisher. A huge tackle on 3rd down, and now it'll be 4th and about 8.
And you know what's coming. Peoria High is going to go for it. They don't kick field goals like we just mentioned. This is where Normal West really has to buckle down here. This is the stop they need.
Gist looking to the sideline for the call in that no-huddle Peoria trademark offense. Gist back to pass, pressured, gets it off to Washington, gets through 1 tackle but not 2. A huge 4th down stop for the Wildcats, and they get the ball back deep in their own territory.
Good play call there from Gist, though. Able to throw it. They had Washington open, but a great read from Normal West sends 3 players over. You can see Malachi Washington wanted to shut off that next tackle, get those extra yards, but they bring him down.
Normal West went 3 and out on their first series, but now they come back out trailing 6-0. Tail end of the first quarter. Mangrum. And an interesting formation, John. 3 wide receivers stacked off to the right, but then Mangrum just kept it himself.
Similar to what we saw in that long 3rd down play to start the game, where that wind was really coming in strong. They had 4 receivers out and kept it himself. So we'll see if Normal West elects to go to the air at any point in this first quarter.
And that spread offense, they have not thrown yet. Play fake, and they do throw over the middle. Marsaglia hauls it in. Marsaglia, geez, 0 for 3. No less, no matter what his name is, it's a 1st down.
And that is his target that he's loved going to all season in Mangrum. Just a great catch. Able to haul it in, pick up some extra yards.
Minute to go in the first quarter. Man in motion. Mangrum thrown over the middle, but a flag flies. He was looking for Michael Williams, but we'll see what the call is. Still waiting to see what the call is.
I don't know if it was a pass interference, maybe a holding call.
I think more likely holding or defensive holding, maybe.
Still. So on Normal West there, I'll push him back a little bit.
It'll be 1st and 20. Peoria takes the yardage. And a penalty like that will make Normal West even more inclined to go through the air. And another flag flies in. That looks like that was inadvertent, though.
I haven't seen that.
That's a new one for sure. Mangrum, all by himself in the backfield, slings it over the middle. Looking for Gavin Camp, and a late flag flies in. That might be pass interference on Peoria.
Okay.
No penalty. So it's waved
flags
off.
are flying, but they're not getting the calls.
The officials are a little trigger happy tonight. Ready to get that arm warmed up in this cold. Trying to stay loose, maybe.
I was going to say that wind and rain can definitely be a factor. Want to keep you a little warm out there.
27 seconds left in the first quarter. Mangrum sends Camp out wide. Mangrum looking for Camp. Jump ball. He can't bring it in, and a flag comes in. That's probably pass interference on Gary Rutherford, but we'll find out soon.
Yeah, I don't know if this one's going to be inadvertent. Looked like he got caught up there. So this would be a big break here for Normal West if they can get this ball moved up with the penalty.
And of course, John, in high school football, pass interference is just yardage. It's not a spot foul like it is in the pros. So this is just 15 yards. That's not enough to get Normal West the first down.
Still puts you in a closer spot here, whereas Normal West twice through the air now. Couldn't get it going except for that first catch by Marsalia. Maybe go back to the run with Mangrum.
One back in the backfield, it's Camp, and now he's split out wide. Mangrum, again all alone, wipes his hands off on his pants before he slings it to Camp again. He's got a step and can't bring in the over-the-shoulder catch. Good coverage there from Gary Rutherford.
And you could see that throw by Mangrum, how he really had to chase that ball down. That wind is blowing right to that Normal West sideline, so it took it right out of his hands. And also with it being so wet out here, it's going to be tougher for some of these players to catch.
Glad you're with us for the Jody Brown State Farm Game of the Week. Biggest game of the year in the Big 12 Conference so far. Peoria with the early leg up, thanks to a touchdown run from Malachi Washington. Mangrum with the option to Camp. Looking for some blocks, weaves through traffic, past the sticks, and even then some. Rutherford brings him down, and that's an easy horse collar call. Yeah, so Camp is going to get even more.
Not only a great run by Camp, but they're going to get the extra yardage with the penalty. Normal West will love to take that.
$15-yard penalty. Eight seconds left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Normal West. And John, this is the exact response that the Wildcats needed, especially after that score for Peoria and then the onside kick recovery.
Yeah, it all came with that big defensive stand, able to get the ball back, and they're saying, hey, you guys like to run the ball, we can run too. They show that with Gavin Camp able to get around to the right-hand side and then add those extra yardage with the horse collar. Normal West in a good spot.
Camp split out wide. Has been the favorite target for Mangrum. He keeps it himself. The team's leading rusher picks up a few on first down. And that will do it for the first quarter of action. Peoria with an early lead, but Normal West is driving. Stay with us. We'll step aside for a quick word from Uftering.
In-stock 22s, inbound 23s, fresh trade-ins. Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the Total Sales Blitz at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock and inbound, and we're taking custom orders every day. UfteringAutoGroup.com.
Back at Normal Wests, and we want to remind you of our great sponsors here tonight. Jody Brown State Farm in Peoria. For all your insurance needs, home, auto, life, you name it. Give Jody a call, 309-693-1103, or visit her online at jodybrown.agency.com. And we want to thank all our sponsors at State Farm this year for helping us bring you live coverage every week here on ClutchSportsIL.com. Jody Brown, Zach Butler, and Jake Weston all across the Peoria area. Larry Larson, John Camosa in with you. Thanks for joining us on your Friday night. Maybe you're bundled up on the couch. Maybe got the fireplace going on a cold and rainy night in the area. Glad you could join us from your living room.
It might stay a little warmer there from the couch. The fireplace lit. Maybe a big bowl of popcorn, because this one's turning into an entertaining Big 12 matchup.
2nd and 7. Normal West in the midst of a drive, led by the senior quarterback, Jaden Mangrum. West, despite the whipping wind and rain, has gone to the air a lot on this drive. This time Mangrum keeps it on the ground, and he's wrapped up outside the numbers. A big tackle for Patrick Jordan III, the junior on the defensive line.
That's one thing with these two teams. Not only are we going to see a lot of offense, but both defenses are going to exchange blows right there. Nice tackle from Peoria High.
Big 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and 3 from the Peoria 25. 4 wide receivers, including Camp, at the top of your screen. Mangrum on the ground again, going nowhere. Gain of maybe 1, Joko, but now it's 4th and short. And you think the Wildcats go for it here?
Yeah, I think they do. Larry, you're in one of those spots, almost giving them a punt back if you do. Out of field goal range, especially with the wind. I like them to keep it on the ground here on 4th down.
4th and 3. Mangrum stays on the field. Empty backfield. Goes with the hard count, almost got the line to jump, and a flag flies, and the line did jump ever so slightly. We'll wait for the official call, John, but it looked like just slight movement on the Peoria defensive line. That's enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, the right idea there for Normal West. Able to get Peoria High to jump and get the 1st down the easy way. Didn't even have to put a play out there. Now with the fresh set of downs, Normal West in good position.
1st and 10 from the Peoria 20. Camp out wide. Mangrum looks for Camp down the sideline, can't get to it. Good coverage, no flag that time from Gary Rutherford. John, we've been keying in on that matchup a lot here in the first half. Gary Rutherford against Gavin Camp. Camp, the junior, has been a standout this year, but Rutherford, the linebacker, has really risen to the occasion.
Yeah, Rutherford picking up Camp with excellent coverage, able to save a potential touchdown there for the Wildcats. And we knew that coming in, he's going to have to play him one-on-one. Very solid all night, even with the wind and rain.
Camp in the backfield, and the throw in and out of the hands of Marsaglia. What an attempt from Mangrum. Mangrum, as he was pressured, somehow got that ball off, but Marsaglia couldn't haul it in.
He almost threw that off his back foot there. And you would think on a day when it's not raining that Marsaglia is going to catch that ball. But great diving effort. And just can't pick it up. But Normal West, still another chance here on 3rd down.
Third down and 10. Biggest offensive play of the game so far for Normal West right here. And once again, they get the defensive line to jump on the hard count. So it'll be 3rd and 5. John, talking with Peoria head coach Tim Thornton, he said the biggest thing they need to improve upon on last week's game was those flags. It's not often that you hear a coach say, oh, we need to get better after a 54-0 win. But last week, Peoria had a ton of penalty yardage. 16 penalties for 149 yards.
Yeah, still with an impressive win.
Mangrum to the end zone, in and out of Marsaglia's hands, but a flag flies.
Another tough effort there. Almost gets that one. But back to your point, Larry, in a game where Peoria High, pretty handily win 54-0 over Bloomington, you wouldn't expect those 17 penalties. But there's always little things that Coach Thornton's looking for to fix, and tonight we've seen a couple penalties here put Normal West in a good spot.
First and 10 after the pass interference call. Fresh set of downs for Mangrum and company. He's got a back in the backfield this time. It's Brock Lienerman. He throws a block. Mangrum to the goal line, into the house. Tie ball game. Jaden Mangrum does it himself, and it's 6-6.
That's one way to get the job done. The quarterback says, hey, I'll keep it myself. Able to power through some tackles there, get his way into the end zone. Just like that, a field goal. I should say the extra point could put Normal West ahead here.
And now it looks like Normal West is going to go for 2. Lining up off center. And now they surround the ball, and they will kick the extra point. Owen Sen, the 6'2 senior, was 2 for 2 in extra points last week. Kicked a 28-yard field goal. The spot is botched, and the 2-point conversion attempt is dropped. So the extra point attempt not even booted. And all things considered, a pretty good attempt there by Owen Sen to salvage it, but not to be. I want to remind you of our great sponsors tonight. Jody Brown State Farm in Peoria. Like a good neighbor, Jody Brown is there. Visit her online at jodybrownagency.com or call her up 309-693-1103. And we want to thank all our partners from State Farm this season: Jody Brown in Peoria, Zach Butler in Pekin, and Jake Weston in Washington. All those good neighbors surrounding the Peoria area, helping out Clutch Sports Media and our coverage this year. Normal West ties it up 6-6. Both teams struggling with their 2-point conversions or extra points, whatever you want to call that attempt for Normal West. That has this ball game still tied up at 6. Joko, it looks like Normal West might boot it onside here.
We'll see, and there's one thing that we talked about, both high-powered offenses, but we've been seeing a defensive slugfest so far.
They boot it deep. And it's a touchback. Taking a look at the upstring scoring drive for Normal West. It was a long one, Joko. 13 plays, 88 yards, and 3 minutes and 51 seconds. And a lot of it through the air.
Yeah, and a couple opportunities there for Normal West, a couple drop passes, but they got a break there. Peoria High committed a few penalties, and then ultimately Mangrum able to keep that ball himself in the end zone and get a nice run through some tackles.
Gist gives to Malachi Washington, who picks up 3 yards on first down. In case you're just joining us, Washington has the lone score for the Peoria Lions. That came early in the first quarter. About a 12-yard touchdown run. And Jaden Mangrum with the running response for West on that last drive. 2nd and 7. It's Washington again for another short chunk of yardage. 3rd and manageable coming up, though.
Yeah. Looks like we might have a player down, Larry. Maybe one of the offensive linemen for the Lions.
And so often that offensive line has stepped up so big in this undefeated start for Peoria. So it's never a good thing when an offensive lineman goes down.
No, it's not, because a lot of their success has been up front on that offensive line, able to open those holes for Washington. So you hope he's okay down there. They've been healthy pretty much this entire season.
Big man still down for Peoria, trying to get an ID on him. Surrounded by trainers right now. That offensive line for Peoria, starters Elijah Love at left tackle, Jaquarius Green at left guard, Dominic Batista, the center, Mathino Fuller at right guard, and A.J. Roscoe at right tackle. Worth noting, Jaquarius Green, just a freshman. And the injured Lion is Jaquarius Green. Gets up and walks off under his own power.
Good thing to see. And the freshman has been such a key part here for Peoria High this season, as we hope he returns.
9:17 left. Quarter number 2. All tied up at 6. 3rd down and 4 after the injury timeout. Taking a little wind out of Peoria High's sails. Landon Newby Wholesome, the fullback, to the left of Gist. Gist will throw. Can't connect, and it's picked. It's an interception. Edwards down the sideline. Pick 6. Bounces off the hands of Ricky Hearn, and Edwards pounces for the touchdown.
Huge play for Normal West. Great pickup there from Edwards, able to read that ball off his hands, scooped it up, takes it to the house untouched. That is the defensive play you want if you're Normal West in a big game like this, and they answer the call.
Second straight week with a pick 6 for Normal West. And that defense keeps coming up big.
Yeah, they've been big all season. We talked about in pregame 4 shutouts this year, holding Peoria High to 6 points with 8 minutes and 58 seconds in the second quarter, something you typically don't see with the Lions, who can just score in bunches. But Normal West defense coming up big once again.
Wildcats will try the extra point. Owen Sen gives it a boot, pops it through the rain and through the uprights. It's 13-6, Normal West. Just like that, the Wildcats lead by 7.
And that's something you're going to have to watch for tonight. We've already seen it early on, both Normal West side and Peoria High. That ball hard to corral with this rain, and we see it right there. Had him wide open, goes right off his hands. Edwards there able to read that play and pick that ball off for 6. But that is a momentum turning point there for the home Wildcats.
That defense has absolutely dominated all season long. John, allowing an average just under 8 points per game. And you could say that Peoria is the foremost challenge that they will face this season. They've really risen to the occasion.
Yeah, they have. And I don't think it's just the rain and the wind tonight, Larry. This Normal West defense has been solid all season long, faced some really tough tests, and they've answered the call. Very impressive that they've only allowed 6 points here to Peoria High thus far.
Sen swings the leg, boots it into the hands of Eli McFadden. Charges down the middle, and he's stopped short of the 20, pushed back towards the 15. After a huge defensive play, a huge special teams play for the Wildcats, checking all the boxes.
And as this rain continues to pick up, I don't know if you noticed there, Larry Sen slipped after the kick, kind of fell to his knees there. So that field, it's going to be a factor to watch, especially as we go into the second half. It's going to start getting more and more slick. Defensively, could play to both teams' advantage, though.
Now can Peoria respond on that muddy field against a staunch Wildcats defense? Gist gives to Washington, bounces to the outside, brought down at the 25-yard line.
Well, if there's one guy they trust to get the ball to try to get through this tough defense, it's Malachi Washington, their senior leader.
Gain of 7 on first down. He gets the give on second down as well, and he will move the sticks. And, John, we mentioned Malachi Washington's performance last week. He has been so good this year. 313 yards last week, but look at those season numbers. 1,692 total yards entering action tonight with 25 TDs. Not 9 TDs, as it says on the graphic. A few more than 9. Gets the carry there. Short gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, one of those players that can just score multiple times a game.
There he goes again. Past the sticks towards midfield. First down run for Malachi Washington. He's got the lone touchdown tonight for Peoria.
And I think the thing that's so impressive about Malachi Washington, a lot of his touchdowns aren't in these short yardage plays. He busts out some big runs.
There he goes again. Another big run, stays on his feet. He's dragged down at the 40, but the ball is out. The official immediately points that Peoria fell on it. A rare fumble from Malachi Washington, all for naught.
Yeah, and that's going to be, where you're going to have to be alert. Offensive line, quarterback, your fullback, and dive on those balls if it comes out. Because we've seen some plays with some fumbles.
Timeout taken by Normal West. And we will step aside for a quick word from Uftring.
Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the Total Sales Blitz at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock at inbound, and we're taking custom orders every day. Plus, over 500 pre-owned, including fresh trades from our huge sale. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Welcome back to a cold and rainy Normal, Illinois. Glad you're with us for the Jody Brown State Farm Game of the Week. Game of the Year in the Big 12, you could say. Peoria and Normal West. Wildcats with the lead thanks to a pick 6 from Xavier Edwards. But Peoria's driving, John, finding their footing again thanks to Malachi Washington, the star senior running back.
Yeah, he has been a big factor for Peoria High tonight. And Larry, it's just such a big game going forward. Momentum for the postseason. You're already locked into the playoffs.
Another fumble. Gist can't pick it up. And West falls on it. Still out. Now it's picked up. There goes Jacob Davis.
Unless they rule
him
down.
And now it's ruled down. Joko, I'm shocked. It didn't look like anybody had the football.
No, I thought that ball, nobody ever landed on it, really gained possession. It was just kind of a hot potato out there. And Davis picks it up, takes it to the house, but that's not going to stand. I'm not sure about that one. That was it looked like that was still rolling.
John, with the Malachi Washington fumble just a few plays ago, we mentioned how slick that football is, how difficult that turf is to get a grip on right now. Can you imagine a bunch of guys trying to fall on the football? It's almost impossible to probably land on the football right now. That's why it's so shocking to see the officials rule that.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that they dove for the ball just slips right out. Then they pick it up again, drop it, pick it up. Davis thinks he's got that one. He's waving his guys behind him, already kind of celebrating. But if you're Normal West, still got to be happy with where you're at. You do have possession of the football. You forced a rare fumble from Malachi Washington, and you get the ball back. Chance to eat some clock up here in the second quarter, already with the lead.
Normal Wests and Jaden Mangrum take over on the Peoria 42-yard line. No scoop and score, but the offense gets a chance. Camp split out wide. 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen. Mangrum looking for Camp. Downfield, has a step, but not the catch.
Just a little bit too far out front. Camp turned on the Jets there trying to catch up to that throw, but that win, like we said, a little bit of a factor. Sails that football a little farther than Mangrum wanted, but still a good attempt. And Larry, it has not slowed down as we've seen some fans start to maybe get under the underpass here, get some cover from this rainfall. It's picked up.
It has picked up. It's a good night to be at home and watch on YouTube here on CSM. Thanks for joining us on your Friday night. Men in motion pre-snap. Mangrum chucks it to the sideline, has a man wide open. It was Michael Williams, but he couldn't hang on.
I mean, it's got to be so hard out there. We've seen some wide open plays where those balls are dropped. It is getting slicker and slicker as the game moves on. And 2 teams that we talked about with these high scoring averages, Peoria High 54 points, upwards to 30 for Normal West. We could see a game a lot low scoring than what they average.
3rd and 10 for West. Camp in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right. Option to Camp. He slips at midfield, and the Turf Monster comes up with the stop on 3rd down.
Another big stop there for Peoria High.
Thank the grass for that one.
It's going to force Normal West to punt.
Kenny Rutherford back deep to return. Owen Sen will boot it away.
So nothing hurt there for the Lions after the fumble. Able to get it back.
Sen with a line drive kick. Rutherford will scoop it up. Elude 2 men, cut back towards the middle, now towards the sideline. He's got some blockers across midfield. He's got plenty of blockers down the sideline. Rutherford all the way home.
And Larry, we do have a flag back here.
This one might be coming back, and it looks like it is.
That is a very tough break for Peoria High after just a phenomenal run from Rutherford.
Kenny Rutherford, the senior. Shades of Devin Hester there. But a penalty is going to bring it back. And Joko, it goes back to the flags. And Peoria trying to improve upon their performance last week, in which they were flagged 16 times. We've seen a lot of key penalties tonight.
Yeah, that's just a really tough break for Peoria High. A chance to get back, tie this game, potentially take the lead with the 2-point conversion, but instead restart the entire play from scratch here. But Rutherford able to just corral that ball, make some sharp cuts even in the wet conditions, and get all the way to the house, but that one's going to come right back. Little mistakes like that you can't make in a game this big.
It'll push the Lions all the way back to their own 13. 1st and 10, 6:20 to go in the first half. Ricky Hearn in motion on the misdirection. It's a give to Washington, and he's twisted down after a short gain. Gain of 1.
And you know, if Normal West can make a big defensive stop here, they love having a lead going into halftime. This would be a big momentum shift, too, for Peoria High if they can tie it.
Gist chucks it, and it's intercepted. It falls right into the hands of Gavin Camp, and he's got a pick for a 2nd straight week.
That is another interception. This one from Camp, other one from Edwards. Just a great defensive effort thus far.
And John, the big takeaway for me there Gist chucked that ball up. He had Ricky Hearn pretty open. That ball floated and floated and floated. The wind knocked it down.
Yeah, what looked like a play that he was just going to air it out to Hearn turned into more of a fly ball for Camp to set up under and just catch. Didn't really have to move for that one.
Gavin Camp, who was likened as a center fielder in a Panagraph article earlier this year, playing center field there. Normal West with a chance to go up 2 scores. They give on the ground to Camp. He charges towards the chains. Brought down after a gain of 8.
Kind of the do-it-all player right now, able to get the interception, then start the first play with a big run. Sets up Normal West nice here. That's 2nd and 1.
As the clock winds towards halftime, John, this is a huge opportunity for West to make a statement going into halftime. There were a lot of ways this game could go, but I don't think a lot of people expected this.
No, and they know they want to eat some clock up here. You don't want Peoria High to get that ball back only down a score or have a chance to tie it, so Normal West going to want to tack on another one.
Lienerman wrapped up and slammed down by Landon Newby Wholesome. Third down and 4. A loss of 2.
Yeah, Peoria High's defensive line read that one really well, able to pick him up, get the stop. Clock continues to tick here. Normal West doing a good job eating up some of that clock.
Peoria will get the second half kick. Mangrum wrapped up again in the backfield. A sliding stop for Amari Smith.
Nothing going there for Mangrum. Smith able to get back there in a hurry. And especially with the field being wet, hard for Mangrum to kind of make a quick juke step. Just taken down in the backfield.
4th and 10 now. Wildcats are keeping the offense on the field, at least for now, but that play clock is winding down. Looks like they may take a timeout.
Now, Larry, if they do elect to go for it here, do you go to the air or try to keep it on the ground?
A timeout will be taken. But on 4th and 10, you figure that's a passing situation.
We've seen that wind knock down a lot of balls tonight, so hard to say. Whatever the play call is, it's a big one for Normal West. Equally as big for Peoria High's defense to come up and try to make a stop.
So, John, I pose that same question to you. 4th down and 10, deep in Peoria territory. Got a chance to make it a 2-score game going into halftime. You take all things into consideration. Do you run or throw here?
Yeah, seeing is how Peoria High's defensive line has been so solid, especially on these last 3 plays. I wouldn't do anything crazy going to the air because we've seen the wind knock those balls straight down. The last thing you want to do is force an interception. If you're Normal West, I would try to roll out if I'm Mangrum, maybe hit Marsalia or Camp on the run, try to get those extra 10 yards, but we'll see what they drew up.
3 backs in the backfield with Mangrum. Tight formation. Camp split out wide. It's a pass over the middle, and it's incomplete. Flag comes in late. Mangrum was looking for Dylan Hardwick, the big senior tight end.
Be interested to see what this flag is on, too. Because Normal West.
It looks like it's going to be a turnover on downs, John. West's offense comes off the field.
And tough play for Hardwick. He didn't really see where that ball was going.
Not at all.
You could see once again the wind just let that ball sail from him.
$15-yard penalty in addition to the turnover on downs. So Peoria with more than enough time to come back and maybe tie this one up or take the lead. Tino Gist to Malachi Washington. Stays on his feet and lunges for the first down.
Full head of steam on that run. He almost broke that tackle. Peoria High now midfield, good position. Still plenty of time.
Fumble again. Snap didn't even make it to Gist. Who's on it? Flag comes down.
Normal West thought they had it.
West sideline is kind of standing with their arms out. They're confused. It's a false start on Peoria, so no play. Maybe all things considered a break for Peoria.
Yeah, the one time that you want to fix penalties, maybe not a bad situation where they get it there, it prevents the fumble. Normal West almost looked like they dove on that ball. It could have saved you from a turnover.
So instead of a turnover or a scrum, it's 1st and 15. Gist, Washington, up the middle. Stays on his feet again, tripped up past the 45. Almost gets all that yardage back. 2nd and short coming up.
If there's one player that can quickly pick up some yardage, it is Malachi Washington as they continue to move their way downfield.
This Lions offense has leaned on him throughout the season, but especially so tonight. He's got their only touchdown. Gets another first down, but a flag comes in. We'll see if this one's coming back. And it is holding against Peoria.
Another penalty there for the Lions. Got to try to eliminate that.
Now it looks like the officials are throwing flags to each other. Maybe that explains the random flag throwing earlier.
Playing a little catch out there.
Yeah. Any way to stay warm. 2.5 to go in the first half. Lions trying to come back and charge it. And tie it, rather. Here's Washington. A bit of a broken play. Bounces it to the outside. And he's pulled down by Tanner Couples and company.
He had some room to the outside, but Normal West able to pick up Washington, who's been so quick once he can get through a block. Normal West trying to make a stand here now under 2 minutes.
3rd down and 1. It's Washington again, tripped up, but he gets the first down. But the clock will keep on rolling. If the Lions score here, John, it really does change the game, considering that they will get the ball back after halftime.
Yeah, Normal West knows that. They want to try to make a big stop. You don't want Peoria High, if you're Normal West, to get a lead on you and then get the ball back, because we've seen how dynamic they can be. Normal West knows how crucial this stop is, as does Peoria High knows how big a score would be right here.
After a high snap, Washington picks up a gain of 1 or maybe even a half. Tim Thornton and company letting this clock continue to roll. Gist relays the play call. Could be a passing spot here. Jet sweep to Rutherford, and he's wrapped up. Brock Lienerman, the senior linebacker, was there to blow it up. And now a timeout is taken. Tim Thornton sprints out onto the field, Joko. And Tim Thornton's a big guy. I haven't seen him ever move that fast. Sprints out to midfield to huddle up his defense. And his offense, rather.
Yeah, Tim Thornton knows how big this drive is here on 3rd and 12. They want to get in that end zone. They don't want to be in a spot where they're down. I think he's going to get the right play call here and try to make sure his guys know what's going on and try to eliminate any of those penalties this late in the second quarter.
52 seconds left before halftime. And if you're inside that huddle, Joko, maybe what's the message?
I would just stay composed. It's tough to say what kind of play they're going to draw up. I'm sure it'll be on the ground, Malachi Washington perhaps, but I think the biggest thing you can say to that line up front, do not get a penalty here. You can't get pushed back in this situation.
Normal West with no timeouts remaining, but Peoria has 2 left and 52 seconds left. But it's 3rd and 12. Rutherford again, but drops it, and he's pushed backwards. It's a sack. And the Wildcats stop Peoria again. That could be one of the last plays, if not the last play that Peoria runs in this first half. 4th and 18 coming up. So they'll get one more play in, but probably won't try anything too risky.
Yeah, that's a tough play, especially with this weather, that end around.
Gist chucks it down the sideline, comes up short of Rutherford, and it's batted down.
Another flag as well.
We'll see what the call is. But with it being 4th and 18, a 15-yard penalty wouldn't even give Peoria a first down. Could give them a replay of 4th down, though.
And if it is on Peoria High, this one's staying with West.
False start. Penalty declined, so West will take over with 14 seconds left in the first half.
I think you'd probably take a knee here, go into halftime. 14 seconds left.
Normal West leading 13-6. Thanks to a Jaden Mangrum run and a pick 6 at the start of the second quarter from Xavier Edwards. Mangrum comes out in the shotgun. Maybe Normal West is going to try something here.
Go for the big play.
Josiah Edmondson splits out wide. No timeouts for Normal West. Mangrum with the screen to Camp. He's got nowhere to go, and he's brought down short of midfield.
That should probably do it.
And that will do it for this first half. Normal West comes out and punches undefeated Peoria in the mouth, and they take a 13-6 lead into the locker room at halftime.
Yeah, not too many teams across the area, Larry. You could say they've held Peoria High to under double digits, but right now only 6 points for the Lions against this stout Normal West defense. A couple interceptions in there, a couple fumble recoveries. It has been impressive.
In fact, Joko, nobody can say they've done that against this Lions offense that scores 54 points a game. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Jody Brown State Farm in Peoria. For all your insurance needs, give your good neighbor Jody Brown a call in Peoria, 309-693-1103, or online at jodybrown.agency.com. A proud supporter of high school sports. And all these agents are proud supporters of high school sports and our free and live coverage. Jody Brown, Zach Butler, and Jake Weston. Big shout out to them for helping us out all year long. You can visit them online on the websites on your screen or call them up on those phone numbers. Well, John, any last thoughts before we step aside to take a brief breather and maybe let our cameramen dry off?
Well, Larry, I think at about roughly 5:45 this evening, we could say we were thinking we were going to see a higher scoring game. Once the rain really started picking up, kind of knew this would turn into a defensive battle, and that's exactly what it's been so far.
We'll step aside for a break, come back in a few minutes, maybe with some scores from around the area. Stick with us on the Jody Brown State Farm Game of the Week. Normal West on top of Peoria, 13-6. It's a pitch. It's Marsaglia, and he slides on his belly after a loss of 1. Broken play on really broken turf. This is a type of night where you really want to play on artificial turf, John.
Yeah, that would probably play to their advantage, both teams. It's getting muddy out there, getting slick. Seen a couple defenders fall before they even got to the running back there. Yeah, like we said, the weather's just picked up.
How about a low snap for Normal West? This time Mangrum gets on it, scoops it up, and falls forward. So 3rd down and 13 coming up. A lot of broken offense here early.
There has been, and I think that's just where you're going to have to be very alert. All sides of the ball here. Mangrum does the right thing, just falls right on it. Because we're probably going to see some more, loose balls as this game goes on.
Mangrum calls out the signals. Splits camp out wide. Certainly a passing situation. Play clock winding down. It's at 4. Now 3. Mangrum gets it off. Chucks it out wide. Flag flies. That's an incomplete pass. Looked like that one bounced off the hands of a Wildcat receiver. And now it'll be 4th and long. But a flag comes down, and that's against Peoria.
Another little penalty.
Personal foul. Illegal chop block, it looked like. Or roughing the passer, rather. And that'll give him a 1st down. Another critical flag against Peoria.
Yeah, those are the little penalties you're going to have to clean up in the second half, especially being down in this football game. And Normal West takes advantage.
1st and 10 from the 19. It's the give to Brock Lienerman. And the senior, who plays both ways, stumbles forward for a gain of 1. Lienerman, just one of those guys, you look at him, Joe Coe, 5'11", 180, solidly built. Guy just looks like a ball player.
Yeah, he does. And you see that up and down this roster for Normal West, just athletic players, good size, a lot of speed.
2nd and 8. They give up the gut. That's Camp, and he's wrapped up by the defensive line, including Landon Newby-Holsom. Short gain, but 3rd and about 7 coming up.
He just tried to push his way forward right through that solid defensive line. Doing a nice job of moving the football, though. 3rd and 6. Also eating up some of that clock.
The rain has intensified since the first half. Still a handful of hardy Midwesterners taking this one in with umbrellas in the bleachers. 3rd down and 6 for Normal West, as they've struggled to get their offense going on their first drive of the second half after the Peoria fumble. Mangrum, Lienerman charges forward, keeps the legs moving. That's going to be close to the sticks, and that's enough for a 1st down.
They did a nice job getting a block there, able to.
Or no, it's going to be short.
Oh, just short. Looked like he had it, but.
The pile was past the sticks.
4th and 1.
4th and 1, the offense stays on the field. Mangrum goes with the hard count to no avail this time. We've seen Normal West get Peoria to jump a few times tonight. Lienerman again brought down. Did he get it? Peoria pointing their way. Normal West pointing the other way. And, John, I think they're going to bring out the chains.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. Extremely close.
They will bring out the chains. It all comes down to the spot. Hard to tell from our perspective.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be short.
Just short.
Peoria gets the stop by mere inches, and it could be a turning point for the Lions.
Sure, that's one play Normal West would love to have back, just short. But that's just credit to Peoria High's defensive line, able to send the pressure back there and get a big tackle. Talk about a momentum shift there.
First and 10 for Peoria on their own 10-yard line. Long way to go. But Normal West can't turn the turnover into points. Give up the gut. And Gist didn't have much of anywhere to go there on first down. And John, actually, it looks like there's been a quarterback switch for Peoria. They go to the backup, Kenny Rutherford, on that first play of the series. Rutherford, the senior, last week went 2 for 4 passing for 18 yards and a touchdown. Malachi Washington stays in, though, and he keeps on chugging for a first down.
Yeah, they're just trying to mix some things up with Rutherford. See if this can work in a quarterback position here.
Chains are a little bit slow. Snap, Rutherford turns the wrong way, broken play, and he's stuffed in the backfield. He had no idea where he was going with that one. He thought Malachi Washington was on his other side. He turned the wrong way, and it's a loss.
Just some miscommunication there. We've seen that quite a bit tonight. Pushes Peoria High back.
Looked like that defensive stop was going to be an opportunity for the tables to turn. But Peoria's offense continues to struggle. Rutherford on the keeper, trying to get to the outside, and the defensive line catches him up. Laurel Fisher with the tackle.
They're doing a really nice job on defense. Put him in another third down and long situation.
Clock keeps on rolling. In case you're just joining us in the second half, this is pretty much all we've seen. Broken offense, and it continues. Rutherford able to get past the sticks, at least for the line of scrimmage, but I think they blew it dead, Joko.
Almost deja vu. That play was so similar to the second play before that. Runs into Washington, goes the opposite direction. Just a lot of miscommunication right there. Now put you in a long fourth down situation.
It also looks like Peoria has had a switch at center. Trevante Brown. And a flag flies. It's going to be offsides against Normal West. Got him to jump. But it's still fourth down, 4th and 5. But, John, we mentioned that offensive line and how key they've been for Peoria this year. We saw a few injuries, at least one to their O-line in the first half, and I'm sure that's also played a factor.
Yeah, it has. And just nothing in the backfield in the backfield seems to be working on this drive. Normal West just getting back there. Peoria High's got to figure this out.
Washington looking for the outside and doesn't get it. Stuffed in the backfield, Jacob Davis brings him down, and it's a turnover on downs. The defensive struggle continues, and West takes back over.
And Larry, I think what's been even more impressive is how well Normal West has keyed in on Malachi Washington. That is a tall task for any team, and they were able to pick up that run once again, stop him just short of the chains, and regain possession here.
Jacob Davis getting that water. Well deserved. Still got to stay hydrated, even in the rain. Mangrum pitches to the outside. Gavin Camp looking for some space, trying to stiff arm Rutherford, and can't. He's brought down for a loss.
Camp tried to get outside there. Peoria High picks him up with a nice tackle. Their defense is trying to make another big stop. They want that football back.
John, the bottom line is whoever wants to win this game is probably going to have to score at least one more time. It's hard to imagine that Peoria's offense that averages over 50 points a game isn't going to score again, but I guess we'll see. Normal West has not been able to get much insurance, any insurance. And now West takes a timeout. And with that timeout, we'll remind you of our great sponsors tonight, starting with Jody Brown, the presenting sponsor tonight of the Game of the Week. Give Jody a call for all your insurance needs in Peoria, 309-693-1103, or visit her online, jodybrown.agency.com. And we want to thank all our partners at State Farm this year, Jody Brown, Zach Butler, and Jake Weston. Jody in Peoria, Zach in Pekin, and Jake over in Washington. Give your local State Farm agent a buzz or visit their website, all on your screen right there. So Normal West takes a timeout, Joko. And you got to imagine that Nathan Fincham, head coach for West, is probably pretty frustrated right now with the lack of offense.
Yeah, he is. And, back to your point, too, Larry, if I'm Peoria High, or I should say if I'm Normal West, I don't want to be only up one touchdown against Peoria High. You never know. So this is a big key play here for Normal West. Try to get back where they started on that last possession. They turned it over.
Mangrum chucks it deep. Marsaglia hauls it in. He's brought down short of the goal line. It was a key play, and Mangrum delivers a strike.
In a game where we haven't seen a lot of completed passes with the weather, how about that one? Downfield in stride, able to haul it in, and almost gets over that line.
Matthew Marsaglia, the senior, brings it in. Had just one reception last week, but this week we've seen him targeted a few times. Heavy set package coming in for West. Lienerman in the Wildcat, charges towards the goal line. Did he get there? Yes, he did. There's the insurance. West goes up 2 scores.
Brock Lienerman right up the gut on that one.
(19-6) Normal West. And John, it's safe to say that the 8th ranked team in 6A has come out and made a statement tonight.
Yeah, they have. Defensively, offensively, they have been clicking on all cylinders, putting a halt to that Peoria High offense, which is so explosive.
Owen Sen on for the extra point. And he boots it through the uprights to make it 20-6. Normal West. And John, you wonder what Nate Fincham said during that timeout. Must have been pretty good.
Something to get his team fired up, because Brock Lienerman sure heard whatever was said. He takes it in for 6. Normal West, no signs in slowing down. And we're getting close to the end of the third quarter, and in a game we thought would be back and forth, Normal West up 2 scores.
And now, John, our attention turns to the Peoria High offense, which has looked lost so far in this third quarter and really got lost in that second quarter at the end.
Yeah, just a couple of broken plays. They put Rutherford at quarterback. He goes the opposite way, runs into Malachi Washington. That happened twice. And then Washington stuffed on 4th down. Normal West gets it back. They take it all the way downfield for a Lienerman score. But Peoria High's got to figure something out here on offense as we approach late in the third quarter.
We'll see what they can do with the kick return, and we'll see if Owen Sen boots it deep. We've seen an onside kick attempt from Normal West tonight. They almost recovered it, but it bounced out of bounds. And now the officials say, hey, this football's a little too wet. We need to swap them out. So they swap one football out for another, but ironically, the football they toss out there hits the wet turf immediately.
Almost defeats the purpose. That one's going to be just as wet.
You feel bad for the person who has to towel off all these footballs all night long.
I don't think too much anything's going to stay dry out there tonight.
Sen does boot it deep. Eli McFadden feels it on a hop. Bounces towards the numbers, and he coughs it up. Who's got it?
We do have a flag as well. That came before the ball popped out.
Peoria did fall on it, so their offense will indeed come out onto the field. We'll see what the flag is as the penalties continue. It is against Peoria.
But Peoria High did fall in that football, correct? I mean,
They did.
Yeah.
Block in the back against Peoria. So it pushes them back. But any way you spin it, John, I think this is a must-score drive for the Lions.
And it's just showed all night that football is so hard to hang on to. Peoria High's coughed it out even in times that they've got the ball back and dove on it. It's still coming out.
Kenny Rutherford, the senior, still in at quarterback. He keeps it up the gut, picks up a few on first down. And, John, you look at this offense. Tino Gist, the junior quarterback, 2 interceptions. He's now out of the ball game, at least for now. He wasn't able to get going. But all things considered, when you look at Malachi Washington's body of work tonight compared to his other recent games, he hasn't been able to get going either.
Yeah, still well over 100-plus yards rushing, but just hasn't had those explosive plays. Except for that one touchdown in the first quarter, they have made sure they've put a halt to anything he throws at him.
Washington gets the carry there and only a few yards. 3rd and 5. .220 left in quarter number 3. Undefeated Peoria down 2 scores. In dire need of something, anything positive. Rutherford to Washington, and no, it's an interception. The 3rd of the ball game.
Unbelievable.
Picked off by Jacob Davis. He jumped the screen pass, and now Normal West has an opportunity to blow it open.
I mean, what a turn of events. The fake handoff to Washington, elects to throw to the corner there, and Davis hops right in front. But you do not see that at all this season. Peoria High with 3 interceptions to 3 different players, all coming up big again for Normal West.
Those defensive backs have stepped up to the plate tonight in the biggest game of the year for Normal West. Their offense comes out with an opportunity to make it a 3-score lead. First play of the series is to Gavin Camp, and he's going nowhere.
But if you're Normal West, you got to love where you're at in this situation. 20-6 lead. You got the ball back with under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. You can wind the clock down here, maybe open up the 4th with the possession. And the fact that they've turned Peoria High over on 3 different interceptions gives them a lot of confidence going forward.
Jaden Mangrum taking his time. 10 seconds on the play clock. He's got Lienerman with him in the backfield and Edmondson. Mangrum keeps it himself, and he's brought down near the line of scrimmage by Rontavis Lee. 3rd down and goal coming up. Looks like from the 12, Joko. So a tall task coming up, but despite the rain, despite the wind, we've seen Mangrum deliver some strikes. They go to the 5-receiver set on 3rd and goal.
He certainly has been big in these situations. See if he can. And again,
Mangrum looking for Camp over the middle. It's complete. He stays on his feet, but he's brought down inside the 5. Gavin Camp, the leading receiver on this Normal West squad. Joko, it looked like he was close for maybe breaking free and backing in to pay dirt there. But instead, it's 4th and 4, and it looks like that will transpire in the 4th quarter. Normal West defense comes up with 2 turnovers and another touchdown. They lead by 2 scores. We'll step aside for a quick word from Uftring.
In stock 22s, inbound 23s, fresh trade-ins. Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the total sales blitz at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. Bring us your trade because we're going deep to buy all makes and models. UftingAutoGroup.com.
Our coverage tonight of this big Big 12 matchup is brought to you by Jody Brown State Farm in Peoria. For all your insurance needs, home, auto, life, you name it, give Jody a call. JodyBrownAgency.com or the number on your screen. And we want to thank all our participating State Farm agents around the Peoria area this year, helping us out, making this live and free coverage possible. Jody Brown, Zach Butler, and Jake Weston. You can find their information on your screen. 4th down and goal for the first play of the 4th quarter from the 4-yard line. 4s are wild. Normal West trying to go up 3 scores against undefeated and 4th-ranked Peoria. It looks like they're going to kick the field goal.
Yeah, with the wind dying down a little bit, rain subsiding just a tad, you'd think they could get this through the upright.
Owen Sen with his 3rd attempt of the year. And it's good. 23-6, Normal West. And they do indeed go up 3 scores, Joko.
Yeah, that was big. Sen composed back there right through the uprights. Now you're in a really tough spot if you're Peoria High, down 23-6.
And if last drive wasn't a must-score drive, now every drive is probably a must-score drive for this Peoria Lions squad, as opposed to this Normal West offense, which just engineered a very short, but no less, a 3-point drive, 4 plays, 9 yards, and 2 minutes and 7 seconds. And maybe that 2 minutes and 7 seconds is the biggest part of all that, John, considering we're into the 4th quarter now, and it is a 3-score deficit.
Yeah, this is going to be really big for Peoria High. You're down in this situation. That means you got to get in the end zone and quick. You haven't scored since the 1st quarter, and then you got to get stops because Normal West offense has not slowed down. And also holding on to that football, Peoria High's had a lot of turnovers to go along with a lot of penalties. So this is a tough spot. You got to like where you're at if you're Normal West.
Owen Sen, fresh off the field goal, ready to boot it away. Gets the chance from the student section even. Owen. This one tumbles short of the returner for Peoria. That's Eli McFadden dancing around looking for something, and he gets not much. Brought down at the 20. So, John, Peoria goes with the quarterback switch. Kenny Rutherford for Tino Gist. Didn't work out last drive. What do you look for here?
Yeah, we saw Gist, taking out a couple of mental mistakes, 2 interceptions, and then Rutherford comes in. He throws an interception. Really nothing working at quarterback right now for Peoria High. They've kept it on the ground with Malachi Washington. He's got some yardage, but Normal West has just picked him up every time they needed that big play. It's tough to say. Just nothing has really came and worked for this offense.
Rutherford stays in, gives to Washington, and he gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Gain of 2 on 1st down. For those joining us tonight who have maybe never watched Peoria this season, this is a jarring offensive performance. This is an offense who has dominated every single game they've played this year. And they're looking not just slow or dysfunctional against Normal West, but they just have not been able to get anything going. Nothing going there on 2nd down. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, I mean, you look at Peoria High, Larry, this is the team that's capable, and we talked about it earlier in the broadcast with their onside kicks. So they get a quick score, potentially get the ball back with an onside kick, but we haven't really seen any big movement downfield for them to put themselves in position to score. Everything's been midfield or beyond.
You make a great point. If there's any offense that can pull off the 3-score comeback in 11 minutes, it's certainly Peoria, but something's got to give. Rutherford rolls out to pass, slings it towards the sideline. It's complete for the first down.
And it's going to start with little plays like that. Just
Sean Franklin hauls it in.
Yeah, moving that ball downfield. You got to look for the bright spots in your offense and put yourself in position to score. The game's not over, but Peoria has just got to show something on offense.
Ground ball snap, and that's going to be a false start. We've seen a lot of those low snaps. And
we've seen some high ones as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That's been the start of Peoria's offensive dysfunction. Those snaps.
And you get the low ones that kind of bounce. You get the flag. The high ones, we've seen turnovers. Just a lot of little things going the wrong way.
1st and 15. Normal West jumps.
No flag.
No flag. Rutherford hollers out the play call. Another low snap, and he's stuffed in the backfield. Lienerman got there first.
Just the communication between center and quarterback. When you're leaving them low, you're enabling Rutherford to really have time to look upfield. He's looking down. By the time he looks down, Normal West front line is right in the backfield. Does not help the quarterback.
2nd and 18 coming up from Peoria's own 25-yard line. Dorsey Doss, the tight end into the ball game, lined up in the slot. It's a give to Washington. Looking for space on the outside towards the sideline. And he's hauled out of bounds by Lienerman. Gain of a few. That won't do you much good, though, and it's 3rd and long.
Another 3rd down and long situation for the Lions. They've been challenged tonight. Do you go to the air? Or do you try to keep it on the ground?
Rutherford, pump fakes, lost the football. It's still loose. Looks like Peoria falls on it. Normal West thinks they have it, and they do.
Wow. Another turnover, Larry. And if they have had one of the more impressive defensive performances all season, even with their shutouts, this one's definitely up there considering how big of a game this is. Unbelievable.
Normal West with the 5th takeaway of the ball game. And another short field for the offense. Normal West coaches in the press box, having a grand old time just down the hallway from us.
And as this game has gradually went along, it's gotten louder and louder, even with some of the fans that stuck around. You know the hometown team is fired up.
Good reason for it. They lead 4th-ranked Peoria by 3 scores. Brock Lienerman takes it to the outside for a nice gain on 1st down. Lienerman in the Wildcat there. Looks like they're going to stick with it, Joko.
Yeah, they are. It's worked out for them.
So no Mangrum yet on this drive. Maybe we'll see Lienerman toss it. 2 wide receivers out left. Normal West in no rush. Lienerman charges right and slips at the line of scrimmage.
Kind of lost his footing before he even got to the line there.
Third down and 2 coming up. And John, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but so many times we've said, Peoria, this is a must this is a must that. This is another must. You got to stop them here.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, there's no more room for error at this point. 23-6. Chance for Normal West to extend that even more. More impressively, they've only scored a touchdown in Peoria High.
Tanner Cupples, the backup QB, in now. He charges forward. Did he get enough for the first down? It looks like he's just short.
Yeah, another one that just right there, but 4th and 1 once again. Keep in mind, Peoria High stopped him the last time.
So that's a developing storyline in this one, Joko. Both teams going to their backup QBs now. Tanner Cupples, another senior, takes over for Jaden Mangrum. Cupples out of the gun. Play clock at 6. Cupples on the keeper. Has enough for the first down, and he's hauled down. Kenny Rutherford brought him down, but it was too late, and it's 1st and goal.
Nice job to get to the outside, pick up the extra yardage. That's quarterback on quarterback there, Rutherford, who's at under center for Peoria High with the defensive tackle, but not before he could get over the line there.
Cupples back out there. Lienerman, the back in the backfield. He's been one of the go-to guys for the Wildcats this year in goal-to-go situations. Cupples runs into a wall at the line.
And I'll be honest, Larry, I thought coming into this game, it was a toss-up between Peoria High and Normal West who could win this game, but we did not think we'd see anyone up this much.
No, absolutely not. And frankly, I think if you talk to a lot of people around the area, they would have said that Peoria was certainly favored in this game with their vaunted offense. Cupples, another keeper, looking for a block on the outside. He doesn't get it. It's Rutherford again, the disruptor.
Rutherford doing a nice job getting in on that again, able to push him out of bounds. But, Larry, as that clock continues to tick, Normal West knows they can almost put this one away if they get in the end zone again.
It would take a miracle for Peoria to come back. Down 4 scores. And what do you know? Here's Jaden Mangrum back into the ball game. Empty set backfield, going to the hard count. Lions don't budge. 11 across on the line of scrimmage. Mangrum looking over the middle for Camp. It's complete, but short of the end zone.
Setting up another 4th down situation.
And, John, I think you know what I'm going to say here.
Keep it with the quarterback?
It's a must stop.
Yeah.
Maybe that was too obvious.
See what they run here.
Mangrum to the corner of the end zone, and it's caught. Michael Williams with the dagger.
And Larry, that should just about do it.
Flag down at the goal line after the play. Should not affect the touchdown. Michael Williams, the junior, with his 3rd touchdown of the year, could very well be it in this ball game.
Yeah, what a great job there from Williams, able to go up and get it through the defender.
Owen Sen back on for the extra point. Kicked a field goal on Normal West's last drive. The officials come on and say, hey, hold on. Let's not kick it yet. Not sure why, but now we're ready to go. Owen Sen with the hold from Cupples. The extra point is through the uprights. Normal West 30. Peoria 6.
Just an incredible effort by Normal West tonight. Just an all-around great game. Defense is where it all started, though.
It certainly has, and you can play defense by getting some insurance coverage from Jody Brown State Farm in Peoria. Give her a call, 309-693-1103, or visit her online at jodybrown.agency.com. And a special thanks to all our State Farm agents around the Peoria area helping us bring you free live coverage every week. Jody Brown, Zach Butler, and Jake Weston. That's a solid linebacking core right there. Only for insurance, maybe not football. Jake Weston, former Washington Community High School athlete, though. 5:30 to go. The officials discussing something or other. Unsportsmanlike conduct was the call on that flag directly after the touchdown. That will move the kickoff up. Looking at the Uftring scoring drive for Normal West. It was a beauty and could put the finishing touches on this one. 9 plays, 29 yards in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. And that's been the key in the second half, John. All the drives taking a lot of time.
Yeah, they have, and Normal West able to chew that clock up and now put Peoria in a situation. There's 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. I don't think you're coming back to get this win, but how about just some confidence to try to get in the end zone again against this Normal West defense? We'll see if they can do it.
Sen boots it into the end zone, and McFadden lets it fall for a touchback. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left. Lions need a miracle to stay undefeated. And, John, you look at the rich history of Peoria High and their football program, despite all their recent success. Taking a look at both these programs' recent success, Peoria and Normal West both already clinched their playoff berths. Peoria into the playoffs for a 3rd straight year. Normal West in for an 11th straight season. 16th berth since 2004 for Normal West. 8th berth for Peoria since 2013. Despite all that recent success for Peoria, they have never gone undefeated since 1965. Tino Gist back into the ball game, gives to Malachi Washington for a big gain on 1st down.
No, that's tough for any team to do, to go unbeaten. It's always, a huge accomplishment.
Gist airing it out, looking for Russell, and it falls short.
Got a flag as well.
Russell had a step on his defender, Gavin Camp, but Gist just couldn't get it to him. We'll see what the call is. And, John, tonight we have not seen many calls whatsoever against Normal West. Almost every single flag against Peoria.
Yeah, it's been very clean out there of Normal West, able to eliminate any of those little mistakes, and that's helped them big time. And they've just put together a very impressive game.
That penalty does go against Normal West, though. That'll give Peoria a 1st down. Tino Gist, the junior quarterback, struggling tonight. 2 interceptions. Gives to Washington, and he finally has some open space in front of him. Brought down at the 40, and a flag comes in.
It's 2 straight flags we've seen in a row. That's face mask.
Looks like a face mask. Awaiting the official call. It is face mask against Normal West. After a big play, Peoria gets more yardage, but the clock keeps on going. They need a quick strike, and then an onside kick, and then another quick strike, and then probably another onside kick. 1st and 10 from the Normal West 25. Gist, who started as a sophomore, has made vast improvements this year. Gives to Rutherford on the jet sweep, and he's going nowhere. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Joko, Tino Gist, there's little doubt within the Peoria program, at least as far as we can tell, that Tino Gist is the guy. He worked so hard over the offseason after struggling a little bit as a sophomore last year. Said he took his failures personally. He's sacked there. Sandwiched. Hit hard. It'll be 3rd and long. But whenever you got a guy like that who comes in over the offseason, works so hard with the quarterback coach, working out the kinks, working hard in the weight room, you know you've got somebody special. And we've seen that in flashes this season from Tino Gist.
Yeah, and he knows the end goal. Obviously, Peoria High wants to go into the postseason, make a big statement. It's not the individual accolades. He wants to go out here and help his team win.
Screen pass to Malachi Washington results in a big loss. Brock Lienerman brings him down and helps him up. Nothing working tonight for Peoria.
Just another huge defensive stand there for Normal West. Now a chance to get the ball back again as Peoria High sets up 4th and 17. What more can we say about this Normal West defense? It has been remarkable tonight.
Gist looking for the play call. 5 on the play clock. Low snap. Needs to chuck it. He does. Over the middle. Incomplete to Sean Franklin. And Peoria turns it over on downs. That'll likely do it for their offense tonight. By far, John, their most frustrating game of the season. Just 6 points after having averaged 54 points a game.
Yeah, this is a team we look up and down their schedule. You know, they scored 62, 64, 64, 66 in a 5-game stretch there. Tonight, 6 points. And that touchdown came in the very first quarter by Malachi Washington about 5 minutes into the game. Since then, it's been all Normal West.
A shocking sight. Really. Mangrum back into the ball game. 1st and 10 for Normal West on their own 32. It's to give up the middle to Edmondson. Edmondson with green grass in front of him. Brought down from behind by Rutherford. Josiah Edmondson, the junior back. We've not called his name much tonight, but he rises to the occasion, helping run out the clock.
Just gets downfield. Able to pick up some big yardage for Normal West. And now Larry, with a 30-6 lead, they have a chance to just run the clock down here and walk away with this win. Peoria High might not get a chance of getting the ball back here.
Edmondson in the backfield. Gets it again, and why not? This time he's stuffed. 2nd and 11 coming up. Looking ahead for both these teams, Joko. For Normal West first, this is just the first of 2 massive tests to end the season. They've got Champaign Centennial next week, and it's looking like that's going to be for the conference title.
Yeah, I mean, right after, this big win over Peoria High, you got to go up against the top team in the Big 12. So they are ending their season on a very hard stretch. They're getting one out of the way. But, man, that is a tough way to close it out. With Normal West, the way they're playing, that's a huge confidence boost going forward.
Edmondson slips out of a tackle, but not a second one. Frank Odom pushes him back, and it's 3rd and long. Under 90 seconds left in the ball game. As for Peoria, they wrap up their season with a crosstown rivalry with Peoria Notre Dame. PND having a down year. Certainly a winnable game for Peoria. And we've got a score update on Centennial. Next week's opponent for Normal West. They're going to overtime down at Collinsville. 7-7. Could be a great one. Give up the gut to Edmondson. Doesn't go much of anywhere. 4th and long, 44 seconds left on the clock. 35 seconds left on the play clock. So West is going to run this one out and run one more play and put the finishing touches on not just a big, but a dominant victory over previously unbeaten Peoria.
Yeah, we knew Normal West had great defense coming in, but we did not expect Peoria High to only be held to 6 points. That is a really big accomplishment for Normal West.
Edmondson to the outside, and he's whipped out of bounds. So Peoria will get the ball back for one more play, and before that, we'll step aside for a quick word from Uftring.
In stock 22s, inbound 23s, fresh trade-ins. Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the total sales blitz at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock and inbound, and we're taking custom orders every day. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Back at Normal West, where the Wildcats are 4 seconds away from taking down previously undefeated Peoria in the biggest Big 12 ball game of the year. Normal West showed up and showed out. One last play for Peoria's offense after the turnover on downs.
That was big way to close it out. Normal West, pretty convincing win, and this gives them a lot of momentum going forward.
Tino Gist out of the pistol, gives up the gut, and he bounces past the chains, still on his feet, fighting on the final play of the game. A great run from Malik Ross, but not enough, and Normal West comes out with a statement win, 30-6, to knock off undefeated Peoria.
Yeah, statement win indeed. Normal West, after going down 6-0, they tie it with a Jaden Mangrum touchdown from there. They took full control throughout the second, third, and fourth quarters.
Normal West did it all tonight, Joko. They slowed down that Peoria offense, and especially the guy leading the handshake line, Malachi Washington, who has lit the area on fire this year. He was slowed down in the ball game. Tino Gist even came out of the ball game for Kenny Rutherford, the backup QB. He couldn't get it going. But what stands out the most to me is 5 takeaways for the defense.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and 3 interceptions as well for Normal West. Gavin Camp, Jacob Davis, and Xavier Edwards. And Edwards' interception went back for 6. After it bounced off the receiver's hands, he was able to corral it and run it in, and that's what really gave Normal West some extra momentum. But just an unbelievable performance by the home team here tonight in the Big 12 conference game.
One more time, we want to thank our great sponsors tonight. Jody Brown State Farm, bringing you the Jody Brown State Farm Game of the Week. For all your insurance needs, home, auto, life, you name it, give Jody a call, 309-693-1103, or visit her online at jodybrownagency.com. And our coverage brought to you by all our good neighbors around the Peoria area. Jody Brown in Peoria, Zach Butler in Pekin, and Jake Weston in Washington. Joko, any final thoughts on a dominant victory for Normal West?
Yeah, I mean, we've broke down individual accolades. I would just say the biggest thing going forward, if you're Peoria High, you got to rebound, you got to bounce back next week and close out your season with a win against Notre Dame. But if you look at Normal West, how much confidence does this give them going forward in a matchup with the top team, Champaign Centennial, in the Big 12? And not only that, but after Centennial, you got the playoffs. This was a huge momentum booster.
It certainly was, and I think one word to sum it up would certainly be a statement. Peoria had dominated everybody entering this matchup, and they were dominated tonight. Normal West improves to 7-1. Peoria falls to 7-1. These two teams duking it out tonight in a bit of a mud bowl. And we're glad you could join us on your Friday night. That'll do it for our coverage. Want to give a huge shout out to our entire crew, especially Latif Love and Thatcher Zaleski, who froze practically on the roof in pouring rain. They stuck it out. They certainly earned their stripes tonight. Wouldn't have been possible without them, so we want to give a huge special thank you to Thatcher and Latif to bring the game into your living room tonight. For Rodrigo Perez at the controls, Jonathan Michael alongside as well, and for my partner John Camosa, this is Larry Larson saying so long from Normal. One more time, the final score, Normal West knocks off Peoria 30-6. So long, everybody.